evening, viewers. I am ALANA NADIR with tonight's edition of the Regional News. Starting with news from Trinidad and Tobago. 12 deaths in the last 24-hour reporting period have pushed the nation's COVID-19 death toll to 1,806. It means Trinidad and Tobago has lost over 1,800 people to COVID-19 since March 2020. The pandemic has now taken the lives of 1 in every 775 people in the country. On Wednesday, the nation confirmed its largest jump in COVID-19 cases since June 4 this year, with 512 new positive samples confirmed to date. The statistic means that the country has now recorded over 60,000 total cases since March 12, 2020. Active cases have risen to 6,036, the highest since July 11, 2021. In the last 10 days, month-to-date, TNT has confirmed 3,146 COVID-19 cases and 110 COVID-19 deaths, accounting for over 50 of the total cases of deaths reported for October 2021. In fact, the country moved from 1,696 deaths on October 31st to 1,806 deaths Wednesday in a space of 11 days. In Jamaica, sociologist Dr. Herbert Gale says he will not support any call in Parliament for mandatory DNA paternity testing at birth as a solution to stem the scourge of domestic violence locally. Dr. Gale, a university researcher, was responding to statements by St. James Central Member of Parliament, Roy Clark, who on Tuesday in the 2021 State of Constituency debate in Parliament said he intends to move to motion calling for DNA paternity testing at birth. Clark referred to a study by Dr. Gale stating that parental issues contribute to Jamaica's highest rates of domestic violence that leads to murders. The preliminary results, he said, from the sample of 2,000 people taken from upper middle, near poor or lower middle class, and poor people so far indicate that 20% or 1 in 5 persons experience paternity fraud, for which the associated violence is extremely intense. He, however, expressed his reluctance in lending support to the position, as expressed by Clark, that the Parliament make legislation to require testing. Now turning to see what's happening in Barbados. The Mia Mottley administration is once again setting sights on Africa in search of dozens of nurses to supplement a healthcare system under tremendous strain because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister of Health and Wellness Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic revealed that less than 3 weeks ago, he met with his Ghanaian counterpart to discuss the possibility of another 100 nurses migrating to Barbados. Bostic explained that the rationale behind the request is not so much about directly managing the current COVID-19 surge, but to bolster the skilled human resource capacity to ensure that many of the country's chronically ill patients, in particular, can continue to receive high-quality care. Finally, in South Africa. South Africa's last white president, Frederick William F.W. de Klerk, who negotiated a peaceful transfer of power to a black-led government under Nelson Mandela, died on Wednesday at age 85 after a battle with cancer, his foundation said. De Klerk won praises worldwide for his role in scrapping apartheid, and he shared the Nobel Peace Prize with Mandela in 1993. The following year, Mandela won South Africa's first multiracial elections with his African National Congress ANC party overwhelmingly winning most of the vote cast for president of South Africa. De Klerk's role in the transition to democracy remains highly contested nearly 30 years after the end of apartheid. He had been diagnosed in March with mesothelioma, a cancer that affects the tissue lining the lungs. He is survived by his wife, children Jan and Suzanne, and grandchildren, the foundation said, adding that the family would in due course make an announcement regarding the funeral arrangement. That concludes tonight's regional news. I'm ALANA NADIR. Thank you for joining.